hope you're doing well and welcome to the Horn Broadcasting Channel. My name is Mtalam Kosia. The role of religion in East African politics is one of the most powerful and complex forces shaping the region today. From election campaigns and peace negotiations to constitutional debates and social movements, religion continues to influence leadership, governance, public opinion, and even regional stability. In countries like Kenya, Uganda, Tanzania, Ethiopia, Somalia, South Sudan, and Rwanda, religion is not simply about spiritual matter. It is deeply connected to identity, power, culture, morality, and national direction. Political leaders understand this reality very well, and many governments across East Africa have historically relied on religious institutions to gain legitimacy, mobilize support, and shape national narratives. Today we examine how religion has become both a unifying force and at times a source of political division in East Africa. To understand religion in East African politics, we must first understand the region itself. East Africa is home to millions of Christians, Muslims, and followers of traditional African spiritual systems. Christianity dominates in countries such as Kenya, Uganda, Rwanda, and South Sudan, while Islam plays a major role in Somalia, coastal Kenya, Tanzania, and parts of Ethiopia and Uganda. In many communities, religion is not separated from daily life. It influences education, marriage, family structures, business ethics, and community leadership. This deep religious connection naturally extends into politics. During election periods, politicians often visit churches, mosques, and religious gatherings to seek public support. Religious leaders are frequently treated as moral authority capable of influencing millions of followers. Political candidates understand that a single endorsement from a respected bishop, pastor, imam, or spiritual leader can significantly shape voter perceptions. In Kenya, churches have historically played major political roles dating back to the fight for multi-party democracy in 1990s. Religious leaders were among the strongest voices challenging authoritarianism and corruption during rule of former President Daniel Arap Moi. Churches provided platforms for political criticism at a time when civic society faced heavy restrictions. Figures such as Bishop Alexander Muge and Timothy Njoya became symbols of resistance against state oppression. Their involvement demonstrated how religion could become a tool of defending democracy and human rights. Even today, religious institutions in Kenya remain highly influential during elections. Politicians regularly attend church services, contribute donations, and seek blessings from clergy. However, critics argue that this relationship has increasingly become transactional. Some religious leaders are accused of becoming too close to political elites, weakening their ability to speak truth to power. This raises one of the biggest questions facing East Africa today. Should religious institutions remain politically neutral, or should they actively participate in political debates? Supporters of political involvement argue that religion cannot remain silent in the face of corruption, inequality, injustice, and poor governance. They believe religious leaders have a moral responsibility to guide society and defend ordinary citizens. In countries where institutions are weak, churches and mosques often become the only trusted voices capable of holding leaders accountable. But opponents argue that excessive political involvement risks dividing religious communities and damaging spiritual credibility. When religious leaders openly support politicians, they may alienate followers with different political beliefs. In some cases, religious institutions have even been accused of fueling ethnic and political tensions. This challenge is visible in several East African countries. In Uganda, religion has historically been deeply connected to state power. The country's political history includes periods where religious divisions between Catholics, Protestants, and Muslims influenced political alliances and tensions. Under President Yoweri Museveni, religious institutions continue to play important social and political roles, although relations between governments and some religious leaders have occasionally become tense, especially regarding human rights, governance, and youth unemployment. In Tanzania, the government has traditionally promoted religious harmony between Christians and Muslims. Former President Julius Nyerere strongly emphasized national unity over religious division. For decades, Tanzania managed to avoid major religious conflicts despite its diverse population. However, in recent years, concerns have emerged about rising religious tensions and political polarization, especially in Zanzibar and coastal regions where debates over identity and representation continue to grow. Meanwhile, in Ethiopia, religion and ethnicity has become deeply intertwined with politics. Ethiopia is home to one of the oldest Christian traditions in the world through the Ethiopian Orthodox Tawahedo Church, alongside large Muslim populations and Protestant communities. Political tensions in Ethiopia are often influenced by historical religious and ethnic identities. At times, religious leaders have attempted to mediate peace during conflicts, while at other moments, religious narratives have been exploited to deepen political divisions. In Somalia, religion plays an even more central role because Islam is deeply embedded in governance and national identity. Political legitimacy in Somalia is heavily connected to Islam values and traditions. However, extremist groups such as Al-Shabaab have also manipulated religion to justify violence and recruit supporters. This has created one of the greatest challenges facing the region: politicization and weaponization of faith. The misuse of religion for political violence is not unique to Somalia. Across parts of Africa, radical ideologies have attempted to exploit poverty, unemployment, marginalization, and weak governance structures. Religious extremism thrives most where citizens feel abandoned by political systems. This is why many analysts argue that the solution to extremism is not only through military action, but also economic opportunity, education, justice, and inclusive governance. At the same time, religion has also played an important role in peace building across East Africa. In South Sudan, churches have been central in mediation efforts during years of civil conflict. Religious leaders have organized reconciliation programs, humanitarian support, and peace dialogues between rival communities. In moments when political institutions collapsed, churches often remained among the few functioning structures capable of maintaining social trust. Similarly, in Rwanda, after the Rwandan genocide, religious institutions faced serious criticism because some clergy members were accused of participating in or failing to prevent the violence. However, churches also later became involved in reconciliation and healing processes. The Rwandan case remains one of the strongest examples of how religion can both fill society and later contribute to rebuilding it. Another major area where religion shapes East African politics is constitutional and social policy debates. Religious institutions across the region frequently influence discussions on abortion, education policy, family law, and freedom of expression. Governments often balance between international human rights pressure and conservative religious expectations from local populations. In countries with strong religious populations, politicians carefully avoid positions that could be intercepted on opposing religious values. This means religion continues to shape not only elections, but also legislation and diplomatic relations. Social media has now added a new dimension to this relationship between religion and politics. Influential pastors, imams, and online religious figures can now reach millions instantly. Religious messages increasingly shape political conversations on platforms like YouTube, Facebook, TikTok, and X. This has expanded the political power of religious voices far beyond traditional places of worship. However, it has also created dangers. Misinformation, political propaganda, and extremist narrative can spread rapidly through religious networks online. In highly emotional political environments, religion can easily become a tool of manipulation. Despite these challenges, religion remains one of the few institutions that still command deep trust across East Africa. In many countries where political parties are viewed with suspicion and institutions face credibility problems, religious organizations continue to provide education, healthcare, humanitarian aid, counseling, and moral guidance. This means religious institutions must adapt carefully to modern political realities while protecting their spiritual credibility. If religious leaders become too close to political power, they risk losing public trust. But if they completely withdraw from social and political issues, they may abandon their moral responsibility to society. The balance is delicate but extremely important, because in East Africa, religion is not just about worship, it's about identity, it's about influence, it's about leadership, and increasingly, it is about the future direction of politics itself. If you've got any question or comment, please do so in the comment section. My name is Mtalam Kosia, and this is the Horn Broadcasting Channel.